Hey, what's going on YouTube? This is Chaos-Reighn here. Sorry about the little bit of late video. I didn't really get too much sleep, so I've been pretty sleeped out today. However, today I will be bringing you both an update to my build, pretty much where I'm at currency-wise and what I have invested in, and where I am farming to get more currency as fast as possible. Now, as you know, I did a video in Standard about 2 to 2.5 weeks ago, maybe a little less, I'm not too positive, about how to take advantage of farming contracts, how to take advantage of farming blueprints, and how to take advantage of farming a lot of markers. Now, I will say it is a decent amount of investment to get started, but as you know, I already have my iShot build done, and I pretty much set the stipulation that I would be doing white maps until iShot was done. Only thing I'm missing really is an enchant and the levels of my gems, and then that's it. I don't have any real goals to push this iShot build aside from saving Exiles to maybe buy a headhunter, but we shall see because of how expensive the headhunter is this league. So, as you see, we have our build pretty much rounded off. We have boots with aspect of the cat, 35 movement speed, dual res, a little bit of life, and a little bit of evasion. No quality, just because it's whatever jink. We have a pair of breath stealer gloves that are anointed with Breath of Rhyme. Breath of Rhyme gives us effective cold ailments, 10% chance to freeze duration, cold damage, and the C-Dot multi, which does nothing for us. Our standard setup that we've been using, we have finally put catalysts on this, and we have finally started to do some other farming to get basically everything we need. Now, as you can see in this tab, we have a lot of contracts and 50k markers here and a whole lot of blueprints. All of these were farmed literally by doing nothing but grinding. I actually didn't know this one was fully revealed. That's cool. And pretty much, you know, just doing maps back to back, chaining them over and over and over again, and not even alching them, just pure white Lira Arthain maps, not even caring what I get as far as loot goes, and pretty much almost sustaining the chaos I spend. Now, I will say, if you alch the maps, you'll probably over sustain or sustain just under the chaos you spend. However, I will say that it's not really all that necessary to alch them, because if you're only aiming for the markers, the contracts, and the blueprints, you're going to get what you pay for, basically. Now, what you are paying for is 6 chaos for the Lira Arthain node, for the Lira Arthain, for the Atlas. What is it? Passive? No, Atlas map device. Xanamod. Map device Xanamod for Heist, which is 6 chaos. Now, I'm going to show you real quick what this looks like. I hate burrows, but that's the only thing that I can Horizon Orb into. And we're just going to put it in. We're not going to put any master missions. It's white. All we really care about is literally getting in, opening up the caches, doing the ultimatum, and getting out. Now, I have fought the Trial Master twice, and I've never fought him before, nor did I really study the patterns of people playing with him. I don't really care to. I like to experience it. I failed once, and I succeeded once. He has dropped me nothing. Oh well. But without further ado, let's show you how lucrative this is. If you remember, if you open up a normal what do you call it, smuggler's cache, you usually get about 50k stacks, or 50 stacks, and that's all you really get. Now, if you see here, we get 192, 185, we get really big stacks. On top of getting these big stacks, we also always guarantee ourselves at least one contract. Now, I think I can kind of mitigate that just a little bit by finishing my my green contracts, but right now I am trying to spend my chaos that I had basically saved up for this particular method, and once I am spent on chaos, I'm going to start running the contracts for more profits. And as you see, I have one revealed blueprint right there that drop revealed, and I actually have another one that I've priced for 1x in another tab, just in case someone wants to buy it and save me the trouble of running it. But more than likely it's not going to happen, and I'm just going to run it, getting well more than 1x off that blueprint. obviously all my rogue markers, all my rogues have gear that have minus alert levels, so running full blueprints isn't too hard as long as I have the right crew and the blueprint requires the right thing. It's all a little bit of luck revolved, and as you see right there, this ultimatum actually gave me 4 Chaos Orbs. Now, if I don't complete it, then the 4 Chaos Orbs aren't really relevant. Who really cares about 4 Chaos Orbs you don't get, right? But if I do complete it, then that ends up being a very, very good thing, because that is 4 of the 6 Chaos Orbs that I spent right away without even any kind of, any kind of inkling of real challenge. Our maps are white. We don't have any modifiers on them. We don't have any sextants on them, etc., etc. I will say I did run a I did roll a elevated sextant to have what do you call it? Extra smuggler's cash, and I ran 15 or 16 maps back to back just so I can get that. Ooh, and we got another contract. That's always good. Put that there, and let's move on our way. And that actually gave me, instead of 2 smuggler's stashes guaranteed, it gave me 3. I don't know, I didn't see a 4th one in any of my maps. I don't know how that works, if the cap is 3 or if the thing just guarantees you the 3rd one. I am unsure, but I'm not using the extra smuggler's cash because I want to actually get as many rogue markers consistently as possible, instead of getting a chance for a blueprint or a chance for a an extra rogue cache. When they do proc, albeit, yeah, sure, you get some good profits off of them when they proc, and as you've seen in my testing in standard, it's not all that great a chance for it to proc, and it's it's still, even the 8% blueprints, you're not always going to get blueprints. That's just not, oh, well, we died. That's just not how that works. Now, unfortunately, we did die, and we didn't really complete the map, so we don't get really map returns. We're going to have to run back in real quick. And after this map, I will give you an update on what watchstones I have rolled for this area, what else I have done towards my build to make it rounded off a little more, and just a little bit of the extra things that I took the time to do to make sure I can kind of do the content I want to do. I am a little bit light on HP, as you see, 2.6k HP with 221 ES. ES is really irrelevant for me, but it's still annoying. I still don't have immunity to freeze or a flask to remove it currently. I am just pretty much lazy and haven't done it yet, but I will get to it. Oh, that's cool. We just got a Guardian map. Now, I'm not really keen to run the Guardian maps, although I do have decent DPS. Not until I have all of my single target gems level 5, which they are not. As you can see, they're level 2. And until we have probably new crafted gloves, probably something like the ones I have in standard with 7 link gloves or something like that. So we got, oh, that's not a bad haul. But let's go over what our profits are looking like right now. As of now, we have 36 exalts. We have spent a little bit of exalts on a couple of watchstones, which cost us 1 exalt each. We have rolled them ourselves to save currency, and we have T1 rogue markers on each and every one. As you can see, I was too lazy to even augment these. I was just kind of, trying to get get it done and get it over with as fast as possible. I still haven't ran my first Cyrus yet, as you can see by the 3 marker over there in the bottom left. And there's a reason for that. I don't really want him to proc in this area or anything like that. We found a couple of unique and cool things and managed to do some trading and stuff like that. So we do have, a decent amount of stuff that can sell. And we have even more contracts, and we have even more watchstones over here, which we can use towards essentially whatever we want. We have pretty much been grinding out as much as we can to get as much as we can done. And one thing I did find myself missing was, 1, I was missing markers to run my blueprints, and 2, I was missing deception contracts to get the reveals from Gianna. And of course, the other contracts are really good too. As you saw in my most recent video, I was actually running Isla contracts, engineering, I believe it is. Let me see. Where are you? Engineering. To get the map chests, and the map chests are how you basically kind of sustain your sextant count to get really high. Now, I only have it priced like that just because whenever I do share my tab, I usually put my fusings in and put in 200 for an X. I just don't want people to offer on my sextants. But as you see, our chaos has pretty much not really went down. We went down 2 chaos overall. We end up getting a bunch of markers, a couple of contracts, and everything's kind of paying out for itself without even worrying about, you know, losing any kind of profit whatsoever. I do recommend, if you do this method, you either one are dedicated to running contracts, or 2, you have buyers lined up to buy either the contracts or blueprints they need from you. That way you can consistently get whatever you need as far as currency, and put that currency toward literally anything you need to put it toward. Now, I have been offering to sell basically an inventory full of contracts / blueprints for 1x just to kind of get them out. And just because basically it's free currency at that point, considering I am over sustaining the chaos, or almost fully sustaining the chaos. Now, I have used all my horizon orbs, but unfortunately for me, horizon orbs are extremely easy to roll. What I'm going to probably do in the near future is going to show you a super juiced up optimal map setup where I have this Nemesis drops 4 currency, 16 uses, and then we have these watchstones ready. Oh, sorry about that. And once we have all of them, once we have all the required resources, we're going to do that. Currently, we are sitting on a bunch of Harbinger Scarabs, but we need a little bit more. What I've been doing is I've been taking the polished Harbingers into harvest every time I encounter it and attempting to upgrade it. So far I've hit it twice, and then I think I disappeared one. And then when we run out of polished, we take this and we split it down, and we just kind of go back and forth so we have more than enough. Eventually what I'll do is I'll upgrade the rusted ones, and I'll do the same thing there, but I'm using the rusted ones as I go along because it's just easier that way for me. I have stopped buying the scarabs as of now because I have a decent amount of scarabs. I only use the rusteds for the regular mapping, and I have a lot of other stuff that I need to pretty much purchase. Currently I am doing pretty good. Trial Master isn't that hard, I just need to learn the fight. But I will say that there's a lot to be said about you know, learning how to do it yourself without, you know, just going out and figuring it out via a video. I personally have always been a hands-on experiencer. Like even though I watched videos on how to kill Cyrus several times, for me it was about learning how his fight played out with my own hands and eyes and everything than anything, just because I wanted to make it work on my character, which was a very squishy character to begin with. So let's go ahead and real quickly do as much as we can. We'll do this map as fast as we can just to kind of give you one more outlook at what you're looking at. We're going to do another ultimatum just so you can kind of see why it's pretty much easy to sustain. Now, I have lost a couple of these, and I think it's mainly due to my lack of HP and my lack of stats and all overall. I will be changing that relatively soon. I just haven't had the chance to yet. Let's go ahead and put escalating monster speed. And there is, you know, there is a big thing to say about getting a lot of stats and being able to survive. It's just that, okay. Seeing if it's something really cool. It's not, but oh well. And obviously I like playing my character's glass cannon-y, but I think for once I'm probably going to start trying to push this more health-wise, which means I'm going to have to either change the whole way my tree works or invest in getting life clusters. I'm unsure exactly how I'm going to do it yet, I think the first step is to get a 3, 5, or 7 passive voices, depending on what level I decide to push myself towards. I haven't decided to push levels just yet, just because I have no reason to, but I will if I do have a reason to. And as you see, Ultimatum's a joke. I'm not having any issues. I will say, because there is so many rares and I'm getting so many buffs as is, what I might do is I might be purchasing another Inspired Learning for the build and place it right up here. And if I do that, I have to spec this node here, and I have to spec these 2 nodes here, just so I can put this replica hot-headed over there. I could alternatively instead try and put a 8 passive cluster here, preferably a cold or elemental, and look for a non-damaging element notable. And then I would only be missing a little bit of element effect, or I could just try squeezing points out, maybe undoing half this wheel and doing it that way. I'm unsure exactly how I'm going to do it just yet, but as of now, I am just kind of pretty comfortable with where the build is standing. So let's see, we already got 5 chaos back from that whole little spat there, so that's really good, meaning my overall cost for this map aside, was 1 chaos orb. And let's see what we get. We got a contract and we got a bunch of stuff. Alright, now I can run these I can run these alked, but I'm choosing not to for one simple reason. I want them done and over with as fast as possible. Basically, I'm not trying to get a lot of loot from these. I'm just trying to get what I'm trying to farm specifically so I can get out of the maps as fast as possible. So let's see. Let's go to the arena. This time let's be a little careful. Uh-huh. Good for you, buddy. Can you die, please? Please? Thank you. Another cool thing about doing this is that you get a lot of master missions just by running maps, killing the boss quick and getting out. I think we have went through all of our areas in the map. I'm gonna go check that last room because I don't remember hitting both caches here. I did not hit both caches. Yeah, okay, here's the second cache. See what we get. More markers and a contract, no blueprint. Now, when I did my testing in Standard, I did this well before people were posting things and stuff like that about how good it is to farm over here and so on and so forth. And I found that running the blueprints ones only nets you about 1 to 2 extra blueprints per 60 contracts / inventory full. Now, it's not bad, but that's not really a consistent number for me, at least not if I'm going to be farming it insane. So my honest recommendation is, instead of running for blueprints, run for markers or run for extra heist caches. Even though the extra heist caches aren't exactly the best because they're not guaranteed, they do help you get more contracts and more blueprints overall than, say, the 8% more blueprints or the 10% more blueprints. I believe it goes up to 45-50% overall if you have 4 of the nodes. Now, I will say there is a lot of blueprints that drop without these, so without the blueprint watchstones. So rolling them is it just feels like a waste. I honestly, if I rolled a couple of T1s, I would have probably stayed on them and tested them more. But when I did like 100 maps in Standard, it just didn't feel right. Get some more markers going. Alright, we don't really have anything over here. That's fine. It's just to clear out everything. Get out. Looks like we have our other rogue smuggler's cache in here. Now, if you have a lot of horizon norms like I started out with, this is also very, very good for doing this method, because you can basically take any map and horizon it, except for I believe T16. For some reason, when I hit T16s, I never hit Lira. I don't know if it's just my bad luck, but that's just what I've noticed. Um, I will say that if your horizon order being 14s and 15s, specifically 14s has a lot of different choices and it might take more horizon orbs. 15s is probably your most ideal, and you're gonna waste less horizon orbs doing it that way. As you see, we're getting horizon orbs as we're going as well, through these ultimatums. So once we like run out, or once we're at 0, eventually the ultimatum's gonna pay out for us. But not only the ultimatum, when we go run Heist itself, the Heist itself drops a lot of horizon orbs. Our currency map farm drops way too many horizon orbs. I usually get about 10, 20 a map. And of course, if we really need to, we can decide to go out and buy some. Now, obviously buying some isn't the ideal play because you want to try and, save currency, especially if you're already spending currency like this. However, if you start selling contracts, blueprints, and everything like that, horizon orbing your maps to be the right area is just going to be a very worthy cause. Now, obviously, I'm running multiple areas, so this area is just one of like 4 or 5 areas I'm running. I think it's 5 right now. 4, might be 4. And eventually, I'll be running in the 5th area to make more currency in a different way. I like to change things up and run things the way I like to run things just because it's fun. I don't recommend you do what I do particularly. I do what I do, especially these things like that I'm showing you in these videos, because I'm making these videos, because I'm trying to show you that you can make a ton of currency and or do basically anything you want to within the league without really worrying. Oh look, we spawned a third one. Cool. So we're guaranteed 2, and the third one's a chance to spawn via just normal, because the 2 says area contains 2 additional. So just remember that. That's 2 additional. That's not including the one that can spawn naturally on your map. So you can get 3, and every time you get 3, you just get insane value in that map. So let's see. Let's kill these guys real quick. Alright. So what do we have? We have a mausoleum, Lira Arthain. So like I said, what I've been doing is I've been just going and bam, scouring it, and I don't really care too much about sustaining maps. And there's a couple of reasons I don't care about sustaining maps. First things first, I'm not trying to map to map. I'm not trying to run Cyrus. I'm not trying to run Guardians or anything like that. All I'm trying to do is what I want to do, and currently that is Heist, and that is Baldo's Rest Harbinger farming. There is a lot of things I can do to, basically there's a lot of things I can do. I can run Cyrus, I can do all that stuff. I can even do a lot of the invitations, but I have chosen not to. Now, I am sorry that this video is long. I know it's late to say it, but I'm a little bit behind on posting my videos, and I felt like I would show you a pretty in-depth kind of look at where I'm at, what I'm doing right now, what I'm farming, etc., etc. I will be posting one more video immediately after this to show you what exactly I have done to my Baldo's area and what it looks like when I farm it. As you can see, I have moved straight from white to yellow all the way to red over the span of a day or two, and that's because we literally had enough currency to buy the rest of our build. We bought the rest of our build, and now all of our currency is piling back up very, very, very quickly. I will recommend anyone that is trying to do my methods, or sorry, they're not my methods, I do apologize. Anyone who's trying to do these methods, please be aware that they may not be optimal at the time of posting or after the time of posting, simply because more people will find out via, me, via other people, via more popular names, etc., etc. So please be aware that just because I post one method, 2 methods, or whatever, and they're cheap at first, they're not going to be cheap later. I do have a cool surprise that I'm actually going to go to my standard character after this to show you what I've been up to try and finish in League. People have been really stingy in League to try and give me the Watchstones. I've already rolled 2 of them, but people are still stingy. However, I'm going to get it done. I'm stoked on it, and without further ado, I am going to finally end this video and see you all very shortly. Thank you everyone for watching. This is Chaos-Reighn, and like always, you guys have a good one. Please like and subscribe.